Okay. Hi, my name is Wayne and I'll be talking about my personal journey in overcoming depression. I remember this started really in Sec 4, Sec 3, around there, Sec 3, and I released all of a sudden, I just remember really faintly that I didn't want to go to school suddenly. I didn't want to talk to my friends, my parents. I didn't even want to eat. I think some difficulties I faced would, like how I started randomly throughout the day, I would start just shutting off. All these thoughts just started to flood my head. I keep on thinking about, oh, you're a disgrace, you're a disappointment, that I should go kill myself, or I should hurt myself. And I don't know how, but I think I started to develop a tendency to start to harm myself. So for example, like sometimes I would just hit myself or try to cut myself. To me, I always thought that depression was like it's for the people who are then weak, and I didn't want to think that there was something wrong with me. I think it's the holidays or the school holidays, and for some reason I just locked myself in a room. And sometimes I used to like to edit videos, but during editing video, I would just feel the passion. There was nothing there, and I'll keep on having this like negative thoughts that would just start bombarding me. So at that day, I just sat on my bed. I just stared at a white wall all the way until late into the night. It's just a cycle of me having this urge to harm myself again and again and again. And then there was a boiling point where I think like I was trying to resort to jumping, which was quite stupid. But I think that's when my parents managed to unlock my door and come in my room because they were banging on the door. And I remember sitting in the taxi all the way to IMH, and I looked to my right and I saw my dad crying. And I think it was the first time I ever saw my dad cry. But seeing me cry really felt like a punch to my face lah. But what I think helped me a lot was working on exercise. So I think doing that took my mind off whatever was negative. It wasn't really easy at first. I think it was my dad who really encouraged me. Overall, parents are really important in the process of recovery, and they're one of the few people that I felt like I could trust. Overall, my experience with depression really influenced my perspective on mental health as a whole. I always thought depression was a joke, and before I went through all that, I always looked down on people who had depression. I never really knew what they were going through and the pain they had to deal with every day. But after really going through it, I do feel that this is not something that is a joking matter, and that what you may see on the surface may not be what they're actually feeling or thinking deep down underneath. I think overcoming depression wasn't something that was easy by any means. I always had relapses where I would constantly fall into these states of minds and stop functioning. And I'm not sure whether this will entirely leave me or I'll entirely stop being something like that. I really just try to get myself to do something, and I think that's how I make peace with myself about it. At the end of the day, I realized that it's very important to just smile through it, because depression is a fight against yourself. And what is important is finding a good enough reason to stop harming and hurting yourself. And for me, that was my parents and my friends. So lastly, to anybody who's feeling this way, I do advise that you go seek help and support. Maybe talk to a parent or somebody, like a loved one, or maybe a friend, somebody you can confide in.